All right, get ready for a deep dive into some seriously challenging scientific ideas.
Yeah, we're talking about those concepts that make you go, wait, what? But in a good way.
Exactly. And today we're tackling the work of Rupert Sheldrake and his books Science Set Free and The Science Delusion.
Oh boy, these books are quite a ride.
They really are.
Prepare to rethink, well, pretty much everything you thought you knew about how the world works.
No biggie.
Right, just a casual paradigm shift.
But here's the thing. Before you write Sheldrake off as some fringe scientist, know this. The guy's got serious credentials. We're talking Cambridge-educated, plant science whiz, even helped boost crop yields in India with his research.
Yeah, he's not some outsider taking pot shots at the scientific establishment.
Oh, way.
He's been deeply embedded in it, which makes his critiques all the more interesting.
It's like he's saying, look, I've been there, done that, and something's not quite right here.
Exactly.
And he lays it all out in Science Set Free, where he goes after what he calls the 10 dogmas of materialism.
I love that he uses the word dogma.
Me too.
It implies these aren't just suggestions, you know.
Right, they're like the untouchable pillars of modern science.
Yeah, but are they really?
So let's get into it. One of these so-called dogmas is the idea of fixed laws of nature.
Right, like gravity, always constant, never changing.
But Sheldrake asks, what if they're more like habits? What if they evolve over time?
It's a mind-blowing concept to consider. He also questions whether our memories are solely stored in the brain.
Which, let's be honest, is a bit of a head-scratcher, right?
It is. There's actually no definitive proof for that.
And a lot of things that contradict it. So how does he explain how these dogmas, as he calls them, became so ingrained in our understanding of science?
He delves into some fascinating history.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
He points to Francis Bacon, a major figure in the scientific revolution, who was, well, terrified of witchcraft.
Understandably, given the time.
Right. And Bacon believed that to be accepted, science had to be squeaky clean.
Free from any whiff of the supernatural or mystical, like, this is science, it's rational and good, that other stuff, that's witchcraft, dangerous and bad.
And the idea of the universe as a giant predictable machine fit that narrative perfectly.
It's like a giant clockwork universe, everything ticking along in a nice, orderly fashion.
Right, and it worked great for understanding things like the planets.
But when you try to apply that same thinking to living, evolving organisms...
It starts to fall apart a bit, doesn't it?
Totally. It's like trying to explain a rainforest with nothing but physics equations.
Exactly. And what's fascinating is how Sheldrake connects this to the anxieties of that era.
Oh, how so?
Well, this mechanistic view of the universe wasn't just a scientific preference.
You're saying it was a reflection of something deeper.
I think so. It was a way to impose order on a world that felt increasingly chaotic and unpredictable.
Okay, that's pretty insightful.
It makes you wonder, are we still clinging to these mechanistic models out of comfort, out of fear of the unknown?
So we've established that Sheldrake thinks some of those bedrock scientific principles are, well, maybe not so solid after all.
Yeah, he doesn't pull any punches, does he?
But then the question becomes, okay, if you're going to knock down those pillars, what are you going to put in their place?
And that's where things get really wild.
Right. Like, hold on to your hats, folks.
He introduces this idea of morphic resonance.
Morphic resonance. It sounds like something out of Star Trek.
It kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But in essence, it's the idea that nature has a kind of memory.
Okay, hold on. Memory in nature.
I know. It sounds strange at first.
Help me wrap my brain around this.
Well, think about it this way. Every time a new skill is learned, it becomes a little easier for the next person to learn it, right?
Yeah, like that aha moment when you finally get something.
Exactly.
But you're saying it's not just that we're getting smarter, it's like the information itself is somehow becoming more accessible.
Exactly. Like there's a kind of collective learning happening, a sharing of information that goes beyond our individual brains.
Okay, that's a trippy thought.
Right. And it's not just about humans. Sheldrake believes this applies to all self-organizing systems, from crystals to animals.
Wait, hold up, crystals?
Yeah, crystals.
As in like the shiny rocks, they have memories.
Well, the implication is that they tap into this morphic field, this shared memory of form and structure. Sheldrake even gives this example of a factory that suddenly switched the type of crystal it was producing.
Like overnight, they were making one kind of crystal and then boom, a different kind.
Yep, just like that. And then get that the change starts happening in other factories around the world.
Okay, that is wild. But how does this morphic resonance thing, how does it actually affect us as people?
Well, consider the Flynn effect. You know how IQ scores have been steadily rising over the last century?
Yeah, I've heard about that.
What if It's not that we're getting inherently smarter, but that the tests themselves are becoming easier because so many people have taken them before. Like, the very structure of intelligence testing is being influenced by this collective memory.
So if enough people learn a language or master a skill, it actually becomes a little easier for everyone else who comes after.
That's the idea.
Hmm.
We're all contributing to this shared pool of knowledge and experience, whether we realize it or not.
That's kind of empowering when you think about it.
It is, isn't it? It suggests we're all connected in ways we don't fully understand.
But let's be real for a second. We're making some pretty big claims here.
No doubt about it.
How much solid evidence is there to back this up?
That's the key question. Right now, morphic resonance is still very much a hypothesis.
So it's more like a really intriguing idea that needs further investigation.
Exactly. It needs rigorous testing, controlled experiments, all of that.
So are scientists lining up to test this out? I mean, it sounds like it has the potential to revolutionize our understanding of, well, everything.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But Sheldrake argues that a lot of scientists are, well, resistant to the idea, to say the least. They're so invested in the existing paradigms, so attached to the current models, that they're not even willing to entertain the possibility.
That's kind of ironic, isn't it?
It is, in a way. It's like that saying, if your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail.
Okay, so we've got this really compelling but controversial idea, the kind of memory in nature that connects us all. But it's facing some serious pushback from the scientific mainstream.
It's an uphill battle, for sure.
Which makes me wonder, if our minds aren't just limited to our brains, what other possibilities might we be overlooking? All right, let's dive into something that's always fascinated me. The idea that our minds aren't just confined to our heads.
Okay, yeah, venturing into the realm of the psychic, the extrasensory.
Exactly. And this is where Sheldrake really pushes the boundaries with the Science Delusion. We're talking about things like telepathy, precognition, even the feeling of being stared at.
Right. Phenomena that most scientists would rather just sweep under the rug.
Totally. But Sheldrake tackles them head on. Have you ever, felt someone staring at you, even if you couldn't see them?
Oh, absolutely, who hasn't? That creepy feeling that someone's got their eyes on you.
It's like a sixth sense tingling.
Right. And it's easy to dismiss it as just a coincidence or your imagination.
But Sheldrake suggests it might be evidence of a real connection between our minds and the world around us.
Like our minds extend beyond our physical bodies in ways we don't fully understand.
And get this, there have actually been experiments on this feeling of being stared at phenomenon.
Seriously. What, like people in lab coats staring at each other?
Pretty much. Some involved direct eye contact, others used closed-circuit TV, but the results consistently suggest that there's something more than just chance at play.
Wow, so maybe those times we feel someone's gaze on us, it's not just paranoia.
Maybe not. And that leads us to another big one. Telepathy. Direct mind-to-mind communication.
Okay, now we're really getting into the woo-woo stuff.
I know, right? But come on, haven't we all had those moments of phone telepathy, thinking of someone right before they call?
All the time.
And Sheldrake didn't just collect anecdotes, he did actual surveys.
No way, really?
Yep, found that a surprisingly high percentage of people report experiencing phone telepathy.
Huh, that's pretty interesting. Makes you wonder what else we're capable of.
Exactly. And here's the thing, this idea of minds being interconnected might extend even beyond humans.
Wait, are you saying what I think you're saying?
You know it, animals, my friend. Sheldrake suggests they might be tuned into this network of information too.
Okay, I can get on board with that. Like, how else do you explain dogs who know when their owners are coming home, even if it's at an unexpected time?
Right, it's like they have a sixth sense. And don't even get me started on animals sensing earthquakes before they happen.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other level of weirdness.
But imagine if we could tap into that, right?
Yeah.
An early warning system for natural disasters.
That would be incredible. So with all this talk of psychic phenomena, all this evidence that Sheldrake presents, why do you think mainstream science is so resistant to it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Sheldrake argues that science has become too attached to its current worldview, too afraid to even consider alternatives.
It's like that saying, if your only tool is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail.
Exactly. But what Sheldrake is proposing, it's not about throwing out science altogether, it's about expanding it, making it more inclusive, more open to the mysteries of the universe.
It's about acknowledging that we don't have all the answers, that there's still so much we don't know.
And maybe, just maybe, by embracing those mysteries, by being willing to explore the unknown, we might unlock incredible new possibilities, both for ourselves and for our understanding of the world around us.
It's a call for a more holistic, more expansive view of science.
And at the end of the day, that's what this deep dive is all about. Encouraging you to question, to explore, to keep an open mind to all the possibilities that exist both within us and beyond us.
Because sometimes the most groundbreaking discoveries are the ones that challenge our most deeply held beliefs, the ones that make us see the world with fresh eyes.
So keep those minds open, folks, and until next time, happy exploring.